What is the nature of the great man? See, my past couple videos talked about the nature of the evil man and the nature of the good man. But what about the great man? Those that move society, that shake the pillars and transform things for the better. The problem is, can't really answer that question nowadays because great men don't exist anymore. It's funny and kind of sad how I get so many comments from people accusing me of trying to put on airs or trying to be cool or badass or whatever, when, like, honestly, folks, what you see is what you get. If I'm trying to be anything, it's a better version of what I already am. There are no airs being put on with this channel. And yet these people that see me being myself, being honest, they react in the harshest of manners because they've never seen a real man in their entire lives. I mean, what sort of example do they have? Action movies? Arnold Schwarzenegger? Heck, even back in the 80s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was, at least he had the hints of reality. It was movies attracted to men that had been in a fist fight once or twice in their life. They could at least sort of relate and knew that all of this stuff was over the top. But nowadays you have a complete sociopath instead of James Bond. The cigar, the Dunhill cigarette, the martini, that's gone. They've just got a psycho killing people. You know, you've got video games. Rack up as many kills as you can in there. Like this fake version of violence, this fake version of masculinity. And so is it any surprise that these people, you've got the fake version of masculinity on the one side, and then the realistic movies all have these simpering baby men that cry constantly and have feelings and are just the other extreme of ridiculous. And so they see a real man and they freak out. Of course they do. There's no surprise there. Which isn't to say that I'm a great man. To steal the words of Mencius Moldbug, at best, I'm a second-rate man in a fourth-rate world. If I look great, it's just because of the surroundings. See, here's the thing, folks. We're at the end of history. The liberals have won. The experiment is over. Oh, there's a few little things to clean up here and there. You know, they made fun of transsexuals on The Hangover 2, and, you know, children can only vote in a few countries, and yeah, there isn't perfect female representation in the boardroom in politics, but for the most part, every major struggle of the left, they've won. The French revolutionaries, the world they wanted, perfect equality, we have it. We're not just born equal, we are made equal by the state. Oh, it's not perfect. There's a few little scraps to deal with. But for every major battle of the left, of the Enlightenment, it's been won. They've won. The liberals, you guys have won. You own society. We're all atheists now. We're all feminists. We're all egalitarians. So the funny thing about history is that as soon as it's over, it just keeps going, doesn't it? It just keeps going. So now talk about the generational cycle, the fourth turning that we're currently under. This deserves a whole video to itself, but suffice to say we have a hero generation coming into power. And the nature of humanity, of man, is to always seek out monsters to fight. You know, in primitive Paleolithic times, you're going out and hunting mammoths, bringing back the food to the tribe. You know, we need to do that. We need an enemy, we need a challenge. And in politics, you take monarchy, you have one king going up against another, politicking or warfaring or what have you. You take the modern era, The Democrat, the classical liberal, the French revolutionary, always against the powers of old and evil, as Hunter S. Thompson put it. Except now, there is no more old and evil left. They've won. They own everything. So all there is left for the Democrats to do is some internal party bickering. So let's look at this hero generation. Let's look at this hero generation with their black-white thinking, their willing to sacrifice themselves, their desire for something better and more. In the 1930s, he had the Hitler Youth. Nowadays, you've got the FEMA Youth. You've got these kids wearing blue t-shirts showing up at auditoriums, learning how they can handle a disaster scenario, and gradually getting indoctrinated into the system that will be happy putting Americans into internment camps and body bags. But I ask you, when you get right down to it, who's more frightening? The Hitler Youth or the FEMA Youth? You see, the Hitler Youth, these guys had some energy. They actually had an enemy they were fighting. Whereas FEMA? Who are they fighting? Survivalists? Homophobes? People that vote against gay marriage? You know, like the Hitler Youth, they were fighting against the evil Jews, and they were fighting against the Russians, and they're reclaiming territory that belonged to Germany. What does the FEMA Youth have? Not very much. So yeah, we've arrived at the end of history. Except history's going to keep going. The liberals have won. The Democrats have won. All they can do is now cannibalize one another. There's no more woolly mammoths out there. There's no more old and evil for them to fight. All they can do is fight amongst themselves. And for some people that really want to go on a woolly mammoth hunt, that's not going to be enough. So let them have their victory. Let them have their millennial celebrations. It's been coming ever since there was a schism in the Roman Catholic Church. Thanks, Martin Luther. But finally, it's done. They've won. We're all equals, we're all atheists, and there's nothing left to fight. Except the fighting spirit hasn't gone away. So, great men, I don't really know what they'll look like. But in about 5 years we will. There's lots of glory to be had, my brothers. Lots of glory for all of us in the coming years. Share and share alike. Irini out.